Alright guys, so we're going to go in and we're going to play part 2 of 3.7.1. So we've gone through, we've brought our armor, we've got our guns, we've done a little bit of AI. The AI seems very responsive, i.e. me getting shot. Caves. I want to see if cave is any better. Maybe mining. So maybe take the prospector and do asteroid mining and caving over at Daymar, maybe. Might be what we do today. So sorry, I was just tracking my parcel. Expected delivery. Okay, so we do have armor. There it is there. My my character has a very nice butt. She really has that bubble butt, doesn't she? Oof. Bubble, bubble, bubble butt. Alright, enough of that. Alright, jump through the window, as we always like to do. And here. Now. Prospector.
Your ship has been delivered to the following landing pad.
DO7 is this way. We need to try VoIP. Hey guys, is anyone on VoIP? Can anyone hear me? No, okay. I haven't really seen many people in the verse, so I haven't really had a chance to check out what. Pew 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 pew. There's PPUs. No, the turret system's obviously working. I might turn my audio down a bit too, because last night I noticed when I was watching back mine that it was actually hard to hear me over the sound. And let's face it, you come to this YouTube channel to listen to me talk, right? Not, you know, listen to the game. Still got some pretty good health on it, to be honest, too. Alright, now. Just realised I went to try to get a map and I was already on the map. That's brilliant. Daymar doesn't have caves. Sorry, Yellow doesn't have caves. Daymar does. Let's go to Daymar. tell you what, these new sound effects sound frigging cool. I was a little bit, not upset, but disappointed maybe, that they put them on every ship, because it used to be a Banyu thing. But I'm sort of warming up to them, to be honest. The only one I can see that we have at the moment is... How many people are on them? Alright, let's see if we can do this one. Oh, we still can't. Still can't jump to the points. That would look better. So it's a little way. Let's see if anybody is in the Discords.
This Corsair headset is it's one of the new conversation again tonight.
That's
Nah,
a
that's
funny
alright.
joke.
Yeah, nah, it's alright. It's my videos. People don't come because it's PC.
Although there was some good topics last night.
Ah, shit.
I did end
Which
up
reminds
muting the
me-
Discord about halfway through the stream or the video just because, well, yeah. But
I do need to look to see if there was an actual attempt or assassination attempt, like was leaked. Supposed to happen today.
assassination attempt.
Yeah. So today being October 17th is the anniversary of JFK.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, President Trump was heading to Dallas to do a speech and a memorial service
Oh yeah.
for JFK.
Yep.
And during the Democrat debate,
Ooh.
Joe Biden leaked that there was going to be an attempt by the 17th.
Was that Joe Biden's wishful thinking though, or was that Joe Biden actually leaking something?
Judging by the look on his face, he didn't mean to say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I haven't heard anything about an assassination attempt on Trump, so I believe it
It
was.
probably didn't happen.
No. Yeah.
Yeah,
Guys,
it didn't happen.
as you guys know, I cover the news. I haven't heard anything. Trust me, if that happened,
Yeah.
I would have people blowing up my phone right now saying,
Oh, I'd imagine. But yeah, I thought it was funny that they're plotting to try to take this man out just because their butt hurt.
well, it's actually interesting, and because
Shit.
there's a lot of similarities between JFK's rhetoric, for lack of a better word, and Trump's
Yeah.
rhetoric. JFK used to always go on about the Federal Reserve Bank, which is about as federal as I am, but anyway. He used to always go on about the Federal Reserve Bank being the worst thing for the whole of America. And Trump actually paraphrased him the other day and said or the other month and said the exact same thing. They were both anti-establishment types, and you know, obviously JFK was a Democrat, Trump's a Republican, but that's only because Trump ran on the Republican ticket. He's actually a Democrat. He's very much like
Well, they're
JFK.
both
yeah.
right.
He's total.
The Federal Reserve has done a number on America.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. But yeah, I mean, it's amusing watching all this political debacle go back and forth, and you're just like, wow, you guys are just stupid.
Yeah. It's getting out of hand. It really, really is. You know,
It really is.
That's why I stopped watching it.
yeah.
I never started it, so.
Like my
choice.
buddy's like a super political nutcase,
Yeah.
and he calls me this morning, first thing in the morning, like, dude, you awake? I'm like, well, I am now. Hey, did you watch the debate? And all? I was like, dude, I haven't been watching shit regarding that because it's all a bunch of political bullshit and a bunch of crybabies that I want to go punch them all in their throat.
I had to watch the debate because of the YouTube channel, and I had to sit through 3 hours of it.
Oh,
And
God.
I swear, after half an hour, I felt like drinking. After the first hour, I felt like doing shots every time they pandered to somebody. But then I realised by the hour and a half mark, I wouldn't have any kidneys left.
You're right, or a liver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it was a
we
good
tried
thing.
a drinking game once. It was a bad idea.
Watching the debates for me would be like getting 16 penny nails and slowly driving them into my skull every 5 minutes throughout the entire thing.
It's like watching nine. It's like listening to Nine Inch Nails with 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's pretty painful. Like I had to sit through it, and thank God they kept going to ad breaks every half an hour or whatever. Because if I had to watch it constantly, I probably would have committed suicide.
Fadook.
The thing that gets me is, number one, it is absolutely shocking and sickening to me the amount of money that is spent going into all the hype before the debates. And then the debate happened. And every time I've ever watched a debate, I'm seeing the hype. I'm not really getting hyped by the hype. It's like, okay, here it comes. And then the big day happens. And it's this lackluster reminding me of high school demonstration of chest thumping and finger pointing. And I just kind of realized politics is literally childish.
It's kindergarten.
Yours, and I just put you down, so there.
The reason why they do that, like for example the blue wave, right? It's going to be a blue wave, the midterms and everything like that. Blue wave ended up being a blue wave in the fucking toilet. That's all it was.
Yeah.
The
I remember seeing cry after that.
Well, the reason why they do that is because at the end of the day, it's psychological games. They're hoping that if they go through and claim that it's a blue wave, that their team is going to turn out more than the Republicans because we've got to get out and we've got to vote for this wave. And they're kind of hoping that the Republicans won't turn up because, we're going to get slammed in the election. What's the point in turning up?
What they don't realize is 95% of the Republicans are the older generation that actually goes out and votes.
Yeah.
And then you got the Democrats who are banking on the younger generation, hoping that they can turn and sway them and everything, not realizing that most of them don't even know how to register to vote.
Oh yeah, I mean, the amount of stupidity of fundamental civics in this country is shocking. I mean, the founders actually warned about factions. Be careful of the factions that you grow and harvest. I believe was the quote or something like that. But when you have a society this large, and this is one of the funniest things that I can think of in American politics is we have this thing called freedom of speech. Now, 276 years ago, when this country was founded, okay, different time, different era, completely different perception on what the state is, what the state does for you, and vice versa. And what they really meant by freedom of speech is you have a mind and you can choose to think what you want from your own eyes and be able to share it with people and not be put in fucking jail for it or be executed for it or have your family pay a debt for the rest of their lives and have all of your land seized. That's what they meant by persecution. You couldn't go into a store and someone says, oh, you believe in, shaving dogs and making their hair into beards. We don't want your money here. That's what freedom of speech was.
Man, now I want to look at pictures of that because that sounds hilarious.
I don't.
Well,
If you stepped into my mind for 5 minutes, you'd need antipsychotic medication.
I'll tell you now from someone who comes from a country that doesn't have a fundamental right of freedom of speech.
I agree, but you're getting there.
Yeah, you guys are fucking lucky to have what you have. You really are.
Oh yeah.
I just wish the other half of the country would realize that and stop trying to.
But you see, that's the other half that wants to still assume that parental role over everyone else that they think is inferior or misinformed or thinks that they can do it better. And that's the part that pisses me off. It's like, I tell you, I got this, leave me alone, and you're like, well, I'll just do this, that, and this, and that, and this, and that. And I'm falling on my ass every fucking, couple of years. Thank you very much. Just get the fuck out of the way of everyone and let us do our thing. Because that's what Reagan proved. You slash fucking taxes and you give, more money back to the businesses and the individuals. Nobody's gonna stuff their mattress and sit on it for 50 fucking years.
No,
they're gonna spend it.
Yeah.
And when Reagan slashed all them fucking taxes, the economy boomed, and I swear to God, we would not have the .com rush. And yeah, it was a boom and a bust, but we wouldn't have had that massive expansion of tech without Reagan, because he set it up.
Oh, I completely agree.
And now the whole world and and tech is just exploded,
Tech
and everybody's better.
I was going to say, tech really does scare me. The way that tech monopolies, Facebook, Twitter, PayPal,
Yeah.
are even going through, like PayPal will go through and ban people's accounts because they disagree with their point of view.
Well,
Like,
I understand that, and
well,
that's
not
the
really.
fun part about the evolution of the internet is we literally have global fight for freedom of speech,
Yeah.
freedom of identity, freedom of religion, and the very definition of what freedom is, like financial freedom, kind of the thing. And it's literally spread to the entire world. I'm sorry, China, but you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're communist.
they
We're going to
kinda-
control everything. It's not going to last.
The big thing
This
is
literally
these
spells the beginning of the end, because all I hear about China's Great Firewall is they went and arrested a building of like 35 people and threw them in jail because they caught them circumventing the wall. And this has been going on for decades.
And a lot of it for U.S. side is the corporations are running everything pretty much.
Well, they're
And
profiting everything, and
they're
then they're also
losing-
enabling it.
they're starting to lose control of the consumer.
Let me ask all of you guys this. Of all of the different things you can do, depending on how much power you have, what can you do? So if you had the physical strength of Superman, what can you do? I mean, I'd go and sell myself to like a fucking rock mining business. Be like, y'all need some holes dug? and I'd be set for life. Anyways, if you had more money than God, or enough money, like I can't remember, George Soros, that's right. He said something and moved his money somewhere, and then he crashed the Russian economy. Okay. Anyways, however you define money, what is the most or power? What is the most powerful power in utilization in the world today?
Probably money. I would say money.
So I'd still say, ultimately it comes down to corporations. Because they're the ones that literally dictate and run everything.
Yeah, so it basically is money. Because what money buys is resources.
Yeah.
Money's the primary resource in my
I mean,
opinion.
if you said you had the power of Superman, you don't really need money if you could just take everything.
Well, yeah.
But the problem with that is, can you imagine? Okay, so say Superman did that. Say Superman turned banned, right? And he became like that movie that came out a few months ago, which I still haven't seen, by the way.
Brightburn, that movie? Yeah.
Yeah. So say he became Brightburn, right? And he went evil, right? Imagine the PR stunt or PR campaign that would be against him. Right? Hancock is a classic example of this.
Oh, it'd be far worse.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how physically strong you are. You can move moons, sure. But at the end of the day, if you have the PR campaign against you, you're going to get squashed.
Of course. That would suck too. You'd never get any sleep. They'd always be bombing your ass.
There is a reason why I don't show my face. I like keeping my job.
Well, yeah, there's that. There's a sense of security there. But I find it hilarious. The entire world watches our politics.
Oh yeah.
It's because it's laughable.
Well,
That's
yeah,
true.
but that's my point. It is such a show. It's literally a dog and pony show. It's the fucking circus.
It's
See you later,
live-action
Ringling
drama
Brothers. We
show.
got fucking Democrats and Republicans.
Yeah, I can't turn on the TV in Australia without fucking hearing about American politics. Which, it's fine for me because, it's my job, but...
Yeah.
But,
No, I can
for all the
understand
other
it. It's
Aussies,
literally daily content just fed to you.
Yeah.
But it's also nice. I like hearing the
Shit!
people from outside of the U.S.'s perspective for one reason. because they're outside looking at the situation while we're inside being blinded.
Yeah, but you also got to remember too is that outside the US, for example, at the moment, right? You guys have independent media. You have people like me on YouTube going through making videos, stuff like that. In Australia, the vast majority of people that search for online content from YouTube, like news commentators, is minimal. The
Yeah.
vast
Yeah.
majority of Aussies and people, not so much in the UK, but especially in Australia, the vast majority of people believe what they get told by the news.
Oh yeah,
Uh-huh.
they have absolutely no concept of discernment.
No, yeah. Like I'm trying to red pill people, but here I am trying to red pill friggin' 20 million people. Yeah.
See, the thing that scares me right now is the fact that a lot of people, even worldwide, don't realize that the outcome of what happens in the U.S. elections doesn't just affect the U.S., it affects
Oh yeah.
the marketplace for the world.
Like, tell me
That,
about
that,
it. I
that's
want to
the
buy
laughable
more
part.
spaceships. I want to buy more spaceships. And your president over there is doing such a terrible job of helping your economy grow. It's
Shit.
costing me more to buy my spaceships.
Yeah, yeah, pretty
Like,
much.
everybody's going on about how Trump was supposed to crash the economy. Well, come on, Trump,
Yeah,
get
right.
to it. I
Hurry up
want
and
to.
crash it. Let's go.
I want to buy me
He's
spaceships,
got it.
man. Like,
Yeah.
But now we got the Space Force.
the what?
Hell, we don't even have that.
I know. But that's still the funniest thing I've heard him say that I've actually listened to. His whole
I
speech
haven't.
about
I have no desire to hear what that man says
we're
because
gonna create
the first month that he was in
Space
office,
Force.
I think the best way to say it is, if you tell enough lies enough, eventually you end up
Sure.
saying nothing or something like that.
Well, you know what I'm gonna sit here and start doing? He's fucking.
Trump's
I just heard
Trump's
someone open a
lies.
bag of potato
Trump's
chips. Now
lies are. Sorry, I was going to say Trump's lies are interesting because his lies, the vast majority of them are just like hyperbole. Like, I've got the biggest wall.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like that's just Trump. That's just him being a businessman. Where you get
Yeah.
people like CNN who literally today has been caught claiming that White House officials have admitted that there was quid pro quo when it comes to this whole Ukraine situation, right?
Uh-huh.
The interesting thing is that if you watch the interview that they're citing, the actual White House officials have actually said the opposite, that there's no quid pro quo. The guy who claims on CNN that there was actually the other person in the interview, so it's not like he didn't notice this. And then when his co-anchor called him out for it, he then tried to reiterate it 5 minutes later, saying the exact same thing. Like,
Yep.
I get the president's hyperbole with the whole, I got the biggest wall, the best wall, I've got cheeseburgers a mile high, blah, blah, blah. But
I want a cheeseburger a mile high. Shit, I'm hungry right now.
Oh, sorry. I really love cheeseburgers, and I should be offended by that, but
well, that's like they fact check, like Snopes did a fact check. Like, did Trump really have cheeseburgers stacked a mile high?
I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong.
Yeah.
I just found it highly amusing. Well
Yeah,
done.
it is. But it's amusing the fact that they would even fact check it. Like, no, we don't think there was actually a mile high stack of cheeseburgers. Like, he's just been hyperbole.
God, that'd be an amazing cheeseburger.
Oh, it would be, wouldn't it? Imagine the cheeseburger.
Could you? I mean, it wouldn't last very long if you built it in Colorado, though.
Go off.
If you're inferring to the cannabis revolution, I believe I think I heard 23 states now?
Yeah, there's quite a few have started getting on that, and I'm happy to see it happen. But on the same note, I'm a little terrified because that's more tax revenue that the government's going to have at their disposal. How are they going to misappropriate it?
Yeah, well, that's what it's all
Well,
about, isn't it?
Who is it? Oh God, I
I
can't
mean,
remember his
look at
name
the
now.
Social Security
If
system.
the federal government were put in charge of the Sahara Desert, in 5 years there would be a shortage of sand.
Yep.
That's actually fairly accurate.
You know,
That was
you
said
made
by an economist in the 70s.
well, you made reference to the bumper
forget
sticker
his name.
earlier that referenced the Marine Corps, and I'm sitting here like, if it absolutely positively has to be bankrupted overnight, just
Yeah,
give it to a
kind of thing.
politician.
Okay, you know, if anybody that says the government can do something well, okay, I agree. There are certain things the government can do well. War is one.
Spend money.
Well, they have to spend money
No, but that's what they
because
do well. They
we
can
are
spend
the
money.
government. They get the government from us. It is enacted through us. But I challenge anybody to, in American history now, to find the times when the government grew and then shortened and got smaller after it grew.
I don't think it's ever actually gotten smaller after
Yes, it has.
grown.
Has it?
I mean,
Yes. A lot of people don't know this. They think that, and this is one of the fallacies of economics. You have to have inflation to have growth. No, I'm sorry. After the Civil War, there was a massive debt that President Lincoln had on his shoulders.
Okay.
And talking with the banks and all this other stuff, and there's all this humongous amount of interest and blah, 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 blah. And this is, you know, when the Federal Reserve was, or a third-party bank was handling the banking needs of the federal government. So everybody's heard of Lincoln's greenbacks, maybe? Lincoln printed the greenback. It was a completely different U.S. dollar, and he ordered the U.S. Treasury to begin transferring over to this money. And he kept taxes low and rebuilt the countryside and actually paid off the debt. And when that was done, the expansion from the beginning of the Civil War, he actually retracted before he was assassinated. And then time goes on, and then you hit the early 1900s with progressivism coming in. You have World War I, you also have Prohibition, and then that is the beginning of the downfall of America, because at that point, the federal government never got shorter. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. And a lot of people don't understand this. Oh, the Department of Education. My God, think of the children and the education that they would be losing. Did you know the Department of Education was started in 1976?
I didn't know that, actually.
So for practically 200 years, we went through World War I, major technological innovation from Nikola Tesla and the advent of electricity to trains, and then
Also
the automobile, the airplane, radar, World War II, putting people on the fucking moon with the computing power of a fucking calculator, and then all of a sudden we need to be better educated in 1976, and oh dear God.
Just think about it. We'd be so much further ahead if Nikola Tesla had mysteriously vanished.
He didn't vanish.
He didn't
died.
vanish.
Well,
He died of old age.
He
Yes.
died of old age in a hotel room.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now,
Last couple of years of his life, he was bankrupt, and the hotel, back then, honor meant something.
Yeah.
They couldn't just take Mr. Nikola Tesla and throw him out on the streets. So they housed him and fed him for the last couple of years of his life.
Yep. But they still don't know where a lot of his journals are, which is kind of...
Yeah, they're in a government vault. They when Nikola Tesla died, a lot of those government types of us took all the journals and his family's been fighting to get him back, but
Yeah.
it's hard to get back something you don't know exactly whereabouts the government has stored.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's in a vault where like only 3 or 4 people actually know that it exists there.
Yep.
They claim that all of it was destroyed, but
No.
magically after it's been destroyed, I think it was 36 of his diaries have surfaced.
I'll say this. I'm laughing because I've actually done quite a bit of research on Nikola Tesla. I'm not saying that I know
He's one
everything,
of my heroes.
but
One.
I've learned a lot, and I went through his Colorado Springs notes about the experiments that he did there, and the reports of how he could walk 150 feet away from the building where he was having his experiments and put a light bulb in the ground and it would light up.
Yep.
You know, and one of the things that a lot of people don't know is you look at a light bulb today, you have 2 areas where the electricity goes in because it's meant to have AC power, alternating current. So you have an in and an out, a positive and a negative. If you look at those photos of him holding these gigantic light bulbs, they only have one contact, and it's at like the bottom or the base of it. And Nikola Tesla, it was said that he developed AC power and rose to fame and all this other stuff, and he was continuing to tinker and stuff like that. When he came across this other quote-unquote energy source, is what the source material said, he had abandoned all AC and DC research, and this was prior to him going to, I think it was Westinghouse that gave him the funding to go and build a lab in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
And a number of months later, he went and turned his experiment on, and there was an overvoltage phenomenon that happened and blew out the energy generators in Colorado Springs. And a couple of weeks, 3 weeks before new generators can get shipped in by train and get reinstalled. Something
Does
like
make
that.
you wonder what he was playing around with. I would love to know, to be honest.
Well, I mean, if you think about it,
I'll
his
just tell you straight out, it is not free energy. It is not 0 point energy.
Oh, okay.
Well,
What
I
it
can tell you.
is, it is the basic fundamentals of electricity, period.
I mean, he literally.
The way it was described is when you send electrons through an electric wire, it's like 2 people standing on both ends of the rope. Okay. And one guy at one end starts moving his arm up and down rapidly, and it creates this wave in the rope over to the other person. Now, there's a time component there. Okay. Now, Nikola Tesla was actually at, during his experimentations, at the power plant in the municipality where they would, throw the switches in order to send power down various grids. And one day a guy would throw a switch and he felt this like compression wave on his chest, and immediately a static reaction, all the hair on his body stood up and then fell down in a fraction of a second. And he was intrigued by this, and that's what he was doing.
That sounds like an EMP wave of some sort.
In a sense. What he was doing was I'll cut to it because there's a lot of science in it, which actually leads into superconductors and why computers actually. It's a pulse.
Yeah. That
he had found out, and he was using this odd switch well before superconductors. It was a rotating wheel that had contacts on it that would send out this EMP at a certain kind of voltage, like 150 times a second, if he can get it fast enough, kind of thing. I forget the actual speed. It wasn't nearly compared to the thousands per second that we can do with superconductors now, as far as on off. But that's what he found. Now, Nikola Tesla, when he had made or came up with the discovery of electromagnetic induction, how you move a magnet next to a a metal coil, and it induces a current, and you don't have to contact anything. What he found out is every time the electrons move, it generates an electromagnetic field. And the reason why induction works is because the electrons are already there. You don't have to put the electrons there. Electricity is everywhere. When you see electricity, it is only the movement of these electrons in a very short and thin space and traveling at very high velocities. That's why it can be dangerous. Excuse me. So what he did was he switched it really fast and created a kind of resonance field, like throwing a rock in a pond. And it was this resonance that, yes, you see the wave, but the energy is all there at the point where you want it. All you're doing is just exciting the waters. Like you're on one side of a pond, and this pond is 5 feet across, and you're on the other side of the pond, and we both have boats. And I put my boat on my shore, and you put your boat on your shore. And then here comes Mayhem, and he just starts hitting the fucking water with his big ass 2x4.
Yeah.
You know, and because what he's doing is he's causing this compression wave. Now, the very first time that he hits this still ass pond, those boats move. The wave isn't even there, but the boats move anyway because it's the displacement of the water. Now, instead of a three-dimensional liquid gravity held down flat surface
Hang on,
area,
Tyler, dude, can you turn your sensitivity right down, dude? We are literally hearing you sound like doing the dishes.
No, I'm playing a game.
Whatever it is, dude, it sounds like you're doing the fucking dishes. Yeah, so keep going.
utilize
Yeah,
that.
hold on. Where's my remote at?
I was
But
just gonna say,
that's
just turn the sensitivity just down a little bit, man. Yeah.
No, I just turned my sound down. I'm listening to you guys, not the game. So
Cool. Sorry,
So that's essentially what he had found out, that water isn't a two-dimensional or three-dimensional flat surface. The electrons and electromagnetic fields are literally already here. And it's that was his experiments. He was literally thumping the ground and finding out, and this was his idea, to be able to transmit power, because it really literally didn't matter how far you were. He'd be able to transmit power just by generating this pulse wave. That's what he had discovered, that this, I guess you want to call it energy, sea, this sea of energy that we're in, that, you know, it's like we're at the bottom of an ocean, literally.
Okay. Yeah. I'd love to like look. Obviously, you know, the biggest problem obviously is that, you know, for example, Edison. You know, look, everybody claims Edison to building the light bulb. He didn't. Edison was one of 100 different guys who changed the design over the course of the time. But, you know, Edison went through and discredited Tesla by electrocuting the elephant and all this sort of shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, just so Edison can win the electricity race so that he could make money.
From DC power.
Yeah.
But that's also one of the funny things. Early AC power was at, like, I think, what, 20 or 30 hertz? And now we're up to 60 hertz as a standard.
Yeah.
And I don't know if this is true or not. I'd like to see experiments as to why someone thinks it's true. But someone had said something about, having high frequency power. We're talking like 150 to 300 hertz instead of 60. It would be able to generate more power at greater distances with less loss. And it's just a more efficient way of transmitting power.
But what about the EM wave that would come up like for example, right? You stand under high tension power lines, and you can light up a 4 tube.
Oh yeah, just through induction.
Now that's great, but you sure as shit couldn't pay me to live under one, because I imagine that energy bleeding off that wire would be dangerous.
Well, of course. There are people with electronic sense that, yeah.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah,
I got
and
pulled over by the cops. The cops are back in the game again.
really?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh wait, no, they just took out asteroid interdictions, right?
Yeah. So I got pulled over by Crusader Security. But there was no interdiction ship. There was just...
You just got pulled out of work.
I got pulled over by a Cutlass and an Avenger. And I tell you what, unless that Avenger's got some really good go-go juice, there's, they seem to be missing the interdiction ship still.
That still cracks me up. The only other game I know that you get pulled over by cops is Grand Theft Auto, and when they come to you, they're not gonna search you. They're gonna kill you.
I get pulled over by the cops on a weekly basis because I work nights, so subsequently I'm driving home at like all hours of the night.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah. Cops love
You
pull over.
guys have drunk driving laws as well, right?
Sorry?
You guys have drunk driving laws as well, right?
Yeah, they're some of the strictest.
Huh. I mean, I agree. I drove a truck for almost 15 years commercially. And, yeah, I saw a lot of people that I wanted to take their license, sew it in their mouth.
Yeah, but I've seen people that are like that, who are like, for example, right, so I was driving, I think I was around Sydney actually, I was driving in Sydney, and there was a girl, she was driving this little Hyundai sort of car, right? And she's zimming along, and I just passed a fully loaded TNT truck. Now, TNT truck is most likely carrying stock for Woolworths or Coles or Bunnings or whatever it may be, right?
Yeah.
So they're pulling 26, 28 pallets, depending on the size of the truck. You know, pallets can be, you know, tons per pallet. Right? So he's pulling some decent weight. Anyway, so this little chick, right, she's driving along in a little matchbox car. She's coming up, and I've pulled up at the lights and I've stopped. And she's like, I don't want to stop, so she's jumped into the next lane to go to shoot it, but then she's hit the brakes, realizing that, well, it's probably not a good idea to run the light. But the truck that I had just passed was still in that lane that she decided to stop in.
He smashed her?
Oh yeah. He ramped up her ass because she decided just to take out, you know, a good, 2 or 3 meters braking distance. And, and he's hit her, right? She's got out of the car and started flying off at the truckie, going on, look what you did to my car!
Wow. I can stop at a dime hauling the space shuttle, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But let me reverse the thrusters on my, TNT truck. But, I've got out of the car because I've pulled over, and she's like, "Did you see?" I'm just like, "Excuse me for a sec." I've walked up to the truckie. I say, "You right, mate?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm all good." All right, cool. Here's my business card with my mobile number. If you have any problems, give me a call. I saw the whole thing. Turned around, walked past her, and she's like got her mouth open at this stage, and I'm like, stupid bitch, and then kept walking.
Yeah.
It's just like, because I know that truckie is going to get reamed for doing that.
Oh, like, I've had many instances where I see people coming in, and it just became a habit for me because people doing that in places like Boston, New York, LA, all the major cities, they do it all the time. It's not that they don't think that you can stop at a dime. It's basically, go ahead and hit me, I need the money.
Yeah, well, this chick...
It's not.
This chick wasn't a case of that. She's just been stupid.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there are stupid people, but there's people out there, literally. I had one guy, you know, when you get into a certain kind of traffic dynamic as a driver, you learn to just go a little slower than everybody else. And I mean like 2-3 miles, probably for you, but you guys are kilometers an hour, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like only 1 or 2 kilometers an hour is slower than everybody else, so that everybody has this gradual pull away from you.
Yeah.
And that has saved me so many times because somebody's trying to, you know, get the exit or get into this driveway before I get there. They
Yeah.
can't wait 50 feet,
Yeah.
2 seconds. And so I literally see it. It's like sometimes people are actually nice. They'll have their blinker on and they're a mile behind me.
Yeah.
And then they'll
What's
come
up,
up
gentlemen?
and cut in front of me.
Hey, Wolf.
So I literally just waited for it, and quite a few times I've had to slam on my brakes, and my load would slide.
Mm.
What do you drive?
So
Talking about truckies and passengers in cars being the worst thing on the road for truckies.
Yeah, I'm working on getting my CDL. I work for UPS.
Oh, I'm
Oh, yeah.
so sorry.
Mm. Yeah, my
Some
my
advice
uncle.
from an old trucker is never, ever, ever, ever stop paying attention. And if you ever lose fear and think you got this, that's when you're gonna lose it and get complacent and start fucking up. So just always, always, always cover your ass.
My
And if
uncle's a
anybody
truckie.
says you do this and you won't get caught, as soon as you leave that yard, it's you. It's your license.
Yeah.
You're responsible for that vehicle, and you're the one that has to tell DOT, not them. So just always keep that in mind. Don't let them compromise. Don't let them coerce you.
Yeah, my uncle's a truckie. He's even driven trucks over in the US for you guys, and yeah, some of the horror stories I've heard from him. It's good in a way because it allowed me to have appreciation for truckies, when I was growing up. So.
No offense, but you call them truckies?
Yep.
Oh, okay. And we call them truckers.
Oh yeah.
Or drivers.
I call him Dad.
Yeah, or that. They are our dads. They are our moms, our sisters, our brothers.
We call them truckies. Truckies,
Fair enough.
truckers, whatever. Yeah, depending if it's one or
I remember when I first got into trucking, I saw a picture from Australia of a road train. And I'm talking like out in, I believe, the western part of the country.
Yeah.
To where it's like one main fucking tractor with like a box. And then it's like 5 or 6 like 40-foot trailers.
Yeah.
And it's the only way those outer parts out west in Australia get supplies.
Yep.
Because I don't know if you guys have a train that goes out there.
Yeah.
But I thought that was neat. And I remember seeing an ad for Australian road train drivers. It's 3 guys in a truck.
Yeah.
And that truck don't stop.
No.
It was like, no, that's all right.
Yeah, the road trains are pretty impressive. When you pass them, they're fucking terrifying, but...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the thing that sealed it for me was I also watched a bunch of documentaries about the Aborigines.
Yeah.
And had no idea that the oldest living tribe in known existence. And then I heard about the summers and how fucking brutally hot they are.
Oh, yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, thank you.
Yeah, we bring sweating as an art form.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
no. Sorry, no. After joining the Army, it was like, okay, I've dealt with California heat. Then they sent my ass to NTC. Holy fuckballs, man. No. No offense, gamer, you can keep your fucking heat. What was it, last year?
Yeah.
You guys had a summer that was so hot, it was actually melting your roads.
The summers were so hot they were bending the rail tracks.
Wow.
But yeah,
I didn't hear about that.
I
I heard about sections of a major interstate, well, we call them interstates, being shut down because the asphalt was literally boiling out of the road.
I didn't hear anything about that, but I wouldn't be surprised. It gets 40, 45 degrees temps here is nothing. Is an average.
Was that is that like 110, 120?
I
Fahrenheit?
would say, yeah, if I guess, yeah, probably sure. I don't
It's
know.
about 106-ish, because I know 42 degrees Celsius, I believe, is 106.
Google is your friend.
Not when you're playing Star Citizen.
Well, that's why I'm here. What is 45 Celsius in Fahrenheit? Thank you, autocomplete or auto search. 113 degrees Fahrenheit,
Yeah. There you
Yeah.
according to the Oracle Google.
go.
Oh, Mayhem, you like my ideas for decorations for the base when you get it done?
I'm not even gonna lie, I spaced out. I had a bag of potato chips and a cup of water, and
Why did I just see your eyes go cross-eyed?
the last thing
Yeah.
I remember hearing was discussion of Nikola Tesla, and I was going to bring up the fact that one of his technologies has been retrofitted into something 95% of the world uses on a daily basis.
What?
The light
Wi-Fi.
bulb. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
What was the answer?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
it's
gonna
a
say
brain.
I was going to say, if I had to guess, I was going to say Wi-Fi or microchips.
Yeah, Wi-Fi was one of the
microchips
biggest
not
ones.
Really? Microchips rely on semiconductors, and the way it was described to me, to make it simple, is a semiconductor is like a water balloon that has two openings. And you plug one opening, and the amount of electricity or amount of force that's going to open that opening at the other end, you have to pipe in from the back end. So it's like you got this balloon, and it starts, it turns on, and it gets up to a certain point, and then it just ejects everything, and then closes it again and starts the process all over again. However, this can happen like thousands of times a second. That's what superconductors, how they were explained to me. And that's how computers can do, like, I don't know, billions of calculations a second and shit. Or on-off 1010.
Have they increased the amount of rocks in the caves in 3.7.1?
I have no idea. Was that in the patch notes?
No. But I can't seem to walk 3 steps without tripping over a fucking rock.
Learn to walk. Or stop drinking.
Yeah, well, that probably. Alright, we're gonna go and fly our spaceship. We're gonna take off from Port Alizar now. Where did I fucking park my ship?
See your field all fogging up and shit.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna need some supplies. Where's me brown paper bag?
Why does this sound like a cheesy parody on a horror film? Guy in a spacesuit, fucking in a cave, trying to mind drunk as shit.
I just want to get one horror film where the characters choose smart decisions.
Dude, it wouldn't be horror.
Yeah.
No.
See,
You gotta understand. Okay, you and everybody here knows the word discernment, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So other people don't.
It's not
they're
just that.
watching this, and they have no clue about the possibilities of escape or saving their life. No, they have to do just the absolute dumbest shit. I mean, even in a panic situation, this is not one of those panic things that somebody would do.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
gonna
it
say.
makes
You know,
great
like
horror, and these people just eat it up. They're like, "Oh god, it was so scary." I'm sorry, but I was laughing at how idiotic that bitch was.
Oh my
like
fucking
I would have
God,
totally
like-
just taken that fucking shovel and home run, baby. Here we go. Fuck this. I'm gonna scream and drop it, and then get fucking stabbed 30 times. I ain't screaming. No, fucking batters up, motherfucker. Heads up.
I took another 3 steps and found another rock, by the way. But I was going to say, yeah.
Take
look
another
at the-
drink, man.
Yeah. I just
Enjoy
tripped
the
over this one too. But what I was going to say was, at the end of the day, like, that's the thing, right? If you're in a horror film and someone's chasing you, personally, me, I'm not going to run up a staircase up to a 2nd-story building.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Or if you do, make of a plan of pushing them down the stairs.
well,
Or
sometimes
something.
they do
I
that
mean-
stuff.
I don't know. I'm prior service. I would go immediately to perimeter layout, and if he's chasing me, fine. This will be a split-second ambush. I mean that's what would be going through my head. But then again, like I go back. These people they I don't know. No, the last great horror movie, and it wasn't even a movie per se, I guess, is Alien.
Yeah,
The first one and the second one.
Mhm.
I liked those because it left a lot to the imagination. Event Horizon was another
Yeah.
horror film that I
That was a good
enjoyed.
one.
Event Horizon. That was a good movie.
Yeah, and now when you go to these other stupid like Saw, I had
Oh,
no
God.
desire to watch Saw. None. Okay, so these people end up getting abducted by this guy and he murders them horribly. Okay, so what? There's no fucking plot.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but I like to play survival games with that kind of shit, minus the horror. But to watch it, there's no plot.
Mm.
Now, if they actually got to the guy, and come to find out it was like, I don't know, somebody's father, then, oh, cool. There's a plot. It still sucks, But like Event Horizon, that is a really good story.
Yeah, it does.
Actually, a fun thing I learned about the Saw movies, in each and every one of those scenarios, the person could have survived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my god, I took 2 more steps and found another rock. Jesus Christ, really?
Hey, what was it? God, what was? Oh fuck. 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh, I used to watch that show all the time.
I've already died every way in every possible way. Oh, why do I want to watch it again?
One of the best movies I've ever seen was Usual Suspects.
I never saw that.
Really good film. And
Yeah.
I know Kevin Spacey's in it, and the whole don't touch me there sort of thing. But at the end of the day, he really does look. Whether you like him as a person or as an actor or not, he really did a good role. He did a really good role on that film.
Who's that? Kevin Spacey. Yeah.
Yeah.
He creeps me the fuck out.
Well, he apparently creeps a lot of people out these days.
Well, I saw a little bit of him. I mean, like a couple minutes. Excuse me, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there of House of Cards.
Mhm.
And then I hear that in order to prep for that show, he followed one of the senators around for like a month or two. And I'm just like, oh dear God, that's your education and training. But he pulls it off.
Well-
Kevin Spacey's a damn good actor.
Yeah.
I don't know him as a person, and quite frankly, I've had a lot of stars ruined. I don't want to know him. I really don't.
But to be honest, if you're going to go through and play a role in House of Cards, for example,
Yeah.
following senators around is probably what you want to do.
Oh no, I get it, but okay. Let me put it to you this way. We've already established that American politics is cartoony.
Yeah,
To say
it's kind of
the
much.
least.
At the moment,
Yeah.
I like to think your politics is a lot like watching the Roadrunner and why.
Yeah,
Wile E.
that's
Coyotes.
exactly what it is.
Yeah, at the moment.
I mean, it's
Donald
literally
Trump is-
like what Hewlett Packard, fucking Lockheed Martin, fucking Boeing. Literally, they are Acme Corp.
exactly.
I mean, the parallels are striking.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress. Politics is somewhat difficult to dramatize. Well, I mean, you can do it, but to have it as compelling as House of Cards was, okay, and you know, I heard about all the twists and turns and all kinds of other shit, and how he's you know, going for president and blah 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 blah, and all the sex and whores and drugs, and you know, just it was like somebody on Washington said, yeah, House of Cards, yeah, basically everything except for the whores and drugs. They like just flat out admitted it, you know.
Well, that's
It was
the
like,
reason.
yeah, that's pretty much it. But that's what I mean by Kevin Spacey pulling it off. He actually pulled off a role of a politician, and you were able to sympathize and hate him so much.
Yeah.
You know.
So he'd be a good president then. Yeah.
Well, he'd be a typical American president. I'll just say that.
I was going to say, if you ever get a chance, 2 movies to watch for Kevin Spacey: Unusual Suspects and watch K-Pax. And watch those 2 movies back to back.
I liked K-Pax. Yeah. I saw that years ago.
Yeah.
I remember that scene where he's eating the banana, peel and all.
I don't remember that scene, but yeah.
You don't remember that?
No.
He just picks up a banana and just literally like an apple.
Oh,
just starts, you know, just takes a bite and just eats it.
You know what? That hurts my stomach just thinking about that.
That's my point. I tried that as a kid. It was like, what does this eat, you know, taste like? And I actually ate a piece of a banana peel, and I remember just, you know, not having a fun time at the other end. But you know, it's like, dude, he just ate the whole fucking peel. Oh my god. How much did they pay you, Kevin?
Well, they probably had a puke bucket right next to it, so.
Didn't need to hear that. Oh god.
Hey.
I
on
admire
K-Pax.
actors that do shit like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. He's like I say, he might be a piece of shit human being, but he's a brilliant actor. On that, with K-Pax.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he was really an alien, or do you reckon he was mentally ill?
You know, the jury's still out.
Yeah.
I'll just put that right there. I mean,
I reckon,
who was his opposite? Was it Jeff Bridges? I forgot.
I think so, maybe.
You know, I gotta look this up now. I literally, like, well over 20 years ago, is when I saw it.
I actually do think he was actually an alien consciousness. Yeah. I don't think it was an alien body, but I really do think it was an alien consciousness. Just with like the stuff that he knew, with like that planet orbit and stuff. I really reckon it was legit.
Yep, Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
2001. Really? So it's been 18 years.
Yeah, 18 years and we still don't have a fucking sequel. Come on, Kevin, get on it.
Man, he's all fucking wrinkly now.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah, but they could do the sequel with the girl because she disappears at the end of the film, remember?
No, I don't. I mean, there's very few parts of it that I remember.
Okay.
I remember the intrigue of Jeff Bridges' character. Okay, guy's a lunatic, you know, thinking that he's from another planet and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know, and he starts going through in his head, you know, the different kinds of medication that might help him. But then it was that those series of conversations and actions and mannerisms of Kevin Spacey that you could see Jeff Bridges' character like, wait a minute, this guy might not be pulling much.
Yeah, he might not be pulling me dick.
You can barely see it, you know. And at the end, why do I gotta have a piece of paper or a fan blowing? You know, the comfort of wiping your hands with a paper towel. You know, he's just like pleading, and then the whole building changes. Right?
Well, yeah, at the end, spoiler alert for anybody that hasn't seen it. So obviously he always claims that he was leaving in so many days and blah blah blah. Kevin Spacey's character, well, the body of the character stays there in the mental hospital, but he becomes a potato, right? He's lost his consciousness. But the girl that was also in the mental hospital that wrote that letter saying she wanted to leave because no one understood her and all that, she actually disappears from the mental hospital like that. Like there's a huge blackout from all the cameras for like 5 seconds or whatever. She's gone. There's a blinding light. She's gone, and he's a potato. And it's like, yeah, she's gone.
That's
I love
potato.
imagination. It is so cool. I love movies. I love great stories. I love
Yeah.
really good actors that can really make a character shine. You know, like Samuel L. Jackson. I absolutely fucking hate his fucking politics, and I think he's a racist.
Yeah.
But I love fucking his character in Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah.
Blam! Oh, I'm
even-
sorry. Did I break your concentration? I don't know anybody else who could have done that scene and been as intimidating as him. You know, because he did it with just this cold-heartedness.
Not
you
even
know.
that, but you watch him in like Avengers, for example, right? With him with
Yeah.
character Fury, and
Yeah.
you know, like he was only in it for like a minute, 2 minutes, or whatever in some of those movies, but he fucking stole the line. He just stole the whole role.
Yeah. He like other actors comes into whatever they're doing with a presence. Now, I'll admit, no desire and haven't, and no, you can't convince me to watch Snakes on a Plane.
No, I haven't watched it either, so don't worry. Yeah.
None whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because all I heard is, I am fucking sick and tired of these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. It's like, okay, it's just a Samuel L. Jackson rant film. Because some people like that, I guess. Okay, fine. You know, and it's like, okay, no. Snakes on a plane murdering people? No, sorry. I got to have something like, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy. That was great.
Yeah, it was a good film. Yeah, I like that.
And then the second one. And then the tie-in, I don't know. That shit just, it warps my head. But they're great characters. Maybe that, you know, that's one of the things I love about watching Critical Role. And yeah, you haven't seen the second season yet, but I enjoy watching them because literally what I see is I see a bunch of children corralled by a almost big brother, Matt Mercer.
I haven't seen Critical Role, so I don't know what that is.
Okay, so Matt Mercer is the dungeon master of a weekly Dungeons and Dragons game that has been streaming on Twitch for about 5 years now, maybe longer.
Right.
Their first campaign actually started halfway through the real campaign because they played at home for like 2 years before Felicia Day from Geek and Sundry Twitch channel had heard about him, approached him, and asked him if they wanted to stream it. Now, all of these people, they are professional voice actors. They have, each of them have very long careers in voice acting for video games, famous animes, and things like that. Ashley Johnson is one character who is currently in New York filming a ABC or NBC, I don't know, show called Blind Spot. And I think the final season is this year, but she's, you know, they're all like really great friends, you know, kind of thing. And the first campaign was like partway through the when they started streaming, so they were already like level 9 and 10, I think.
Right.
And it went all the way to 115 episodes.
Holy shit.
And oh yeah, no, dude. See, here's the awesome thing about them being professional voice actors and the people who they are. They enjoy getting into these characters and other off-the-wall random characters. These, I wouldn't say they're masters of improv, but they have fun with improv.
Yeah.
They love acting. They love fucking around with different, you know, accents, like an Australian accent, a Scottish accent, you know, light German accent, you know, kind of thing, and various, you know, other things. And they you know, constant entertainment references. Like they'll just all bust out of the song and sing a couple of lines. you know, kind of thing. They fuck around, and their cohesion is awesome to watch. But Matt Mercer, um, he as the dungeon master has to play all of the NPCs,
All right.
and he comes up with some
Oh,
very interesting characters.
yeah, he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, when it comes to improv and clarity of character, he is phenomenal. Because as a dungeon master, there's a lot of shit he's got to pull out of his ass.
Yeah.
You know, I just encourage you, just watch one. Now there are a number of hours long. I don't know what your schedule is, but you know, the way that they get into the characters, and one of the things I find really funny is sometimes somebody will come up with like just an off the wall character or accent, and the other people will like push them to, you know, encourage them, pokingly fun at them. Go ahead, you know, do it, you know, like to the max, you know,
Yeah.
and they're like, well, okay, and they do it,
Mm.
you know, kind of thing, and it's just it's seeing somebody like that just, God, I like explode in joy and just having fun doing like a Southern Wales accent very badly. You know,
Yeah, I
and they're
normally fall
just
asleep with
great.
the Xbox running and Twitch or something on it, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'll check them out. What's it called? Critical Mass, did you say?
no,
Critical Role.
Critical Role.
ROLE.
You can get their full stuff on Verve.
On
What's
Verb, is it?
verb?
Yeah.
What's Verb?
It's basically a giant anime collection, but you can get every single one of their episodes on Verve.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know that. I just watch them on YouTube.
Oh, they're
They
on
got they
YouTube, are
got
they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they've got everything that they stream on their Twitch channel after a number of days. Like tonight was Critical Role, every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Right.
And then Monday morning, I want to say West Coast time, America, around about 7, 8 a.m., maybe 9 a.m. That episode on Thursday will go up on YouTube.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think they said campaign 1 is over 500 hours.
Fuck. That's alright.
You got a lot of catching up to do, gamer.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll watch the first episode so that way if I like it, I don't have to worry about going back to it. Dude,
Right, yeah.
I went through when I first played. My first experience with Star Citizen was hearing it was a scam, right? And I left it for about 3 years, and then about 18 months ago I jumped in just to, actually I was going to play the game just to expose it as a scam. Jumped in, fell in love with the game, and then decided over the course of 2 weeks to watch every video that Star Citizen channel has put out. Like,
And
I was going to say, catching up on videos is something I love to do, so yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The quality of the very first time they started streaming is really low compared to what they are now.
Oh, okay. So, watch
But of
one of the
course
first
now they
episodes,
have
or
Sorry, what?
should I watch one of the first episodes then, or just watch it from now?
Well, okay. So it's like you're gonna open a book and literally start it halfway through.
Yeah.
You know, and it took me a bit, you know, because there's a show called Talks Machina. Because the group in the first campaign, they named their group Vox Machina.
Oh.
And so they started a show called Talks Machina, in which after the Thursday episode, they bring a couple of the cast members on and they talk about the show.
Okay.
And so you know, that kind of thing has happened, you know. And I don't know if you can get Talks Machina. I can't remember what it is. But
I don't know.
well, no, all I'm saying is, you know, the very first episode of the first campaign is really low quality. But
Right.
and I'll just summarize it for you. The first time that they streamed, I think they had like 100, 200 people watching.
Yeah.
and then this next time they streamed, they broke 1,000, and then the next time they streamed, they broke like 1,500, and they just kept climbing. And tonight's episode, 48,000 people were watching.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's quite popular. And quite frankly, there's an explosion of Dungeons and Dragons and tabletop RPGs in America right now. An
Yeah.
explosion, and Critical Role is the main reason why that explosion is happening.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have Dungeons and Dragons tabletop over there.
We probably do. I'm not much into it though, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's a improv collaborative adventure RPG.
Yeah.
To
I've-
best describe D&D.
I sort of watched a couple of episodes of like, that sort of Dungeons and Dragons sort of thing, and like that.
Yeah.
And I sort of it's alright. Like there's a YouTuber Sargon of a Cat. He was doing the whole Dungeons and Dragons thing for a bit, or similar
Yeah.
thing.
I've
it was alright,
watched
but-
a couple, and
Yeah.
they're not as good as Critical Role.
No.
I'm serious.
Hmm.
I've watched, God, who is that? Acquisitions Inc.
Alright.
And they're like a bunch of fucking teenagers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're funny if you're into that, but I like Critical Role better. They're a lot more dramatic. A lot more.
Okay, I'll check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I don't like it. I've wasted an hour. Best case scenario, I like it. I wasted 500 hours. Thank you very much.
Trust me, if you watched all 500 hours, you would be a better person.
I don't know. That's kind of assuming I'm not the best person I possibly can be right now. That's. Yeah. It's funny. I had my neighbour come out to me the other day. She goes, "Did you clean the leaves up out of the garden?" And I said, "No. Why would I do that?" She goes, "Because I thought you might try to become a better person." I turned around and I said, "Why would I waste my time doing that?" And just walked off.
Oh, I hate neighbors. I'll be honest, I hate people. I don't know what the hell happened to the world. When I was a kid, the world was like interesting and awesome, and now people just piss me off. Like, case in point, my daughter was, my kids are 19 now, but my daughter was 9, and we're going through the grocery store, and I would frequently put them on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And we would inventory the store out loud.
You couldn't do that these days because people complain that you're annoying them.
Oh, I know, but yeah, I actually got quite a few smiles and everything from people because, we were having
Fun.
fuck it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not like yelling, but we were just talking out loud, you know. So, we're pushing the cart around, and we start horsing around. And my daughter falls down, and she like lets out this whimper, and I pick her up. I'm like, "Y'all better now?" She's like, "Yeah." And then this woman, I don't know who she was, but she was like, I don't know, 60s, 70 years age range.
Yep.
And she turned around and she's like, "If I were you, I'd keep that daughter on a leash." And I just looked at her, and my eyes got all wide, and I took a step towards her, and it scared the fuck out of her. And I said, it just as loud as I could, "Who the," kind of thing. It's like, I just put it straight on the spot.
Yeah.
"Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do with my daughter? I don't see you with God or angel or I am the supreme being on your forehead.
Yeah.
So again, who the fuck are you to talk to me like that?"
It's funny how
kind
everybody
of
has an
thing.
opinion on how to raise other people's kids on that.
Yeah. It was like, God damn. As an Australian, I don't know if you would know this, but when America finished the Revolutionary War. And they coined the first coin money. What was written on the coin was "Mind your business."
It's a good
Literally.
motto. Mm.
People were encouraged to